Hi, is that Jay?
Yes.
Hi, Jay. You're live on Chick Rotten and Roll with the Honky Tonk Man.
Oh, how's it going?
Going good. Going very good, machismo.
Oh, boy. Honky, I think first I got to start by saying, because if I don't say it, they're listening and they'll kill me. I myself, along with Sanjay Dutt and Frankie Kazarian, are three of the biggest Honky Tonk Man fans this world has ever seen. I mean, Frankie Kazarian and I, and Honky, you know Frankie.
I know Frankie very well.
Yeah, we have listened to, and we are very proud of the fact that we have listened to every single Honky Tonk Man shoot out there, whether it be with RF video or the kayfabe commentaries. We have listened to it all more than once, by the way. As a matter of fact, when I was with TNA, we went overseas to Amsterdam. No, we went through Amsterdam. Sorry, we were somewhere in England, and a bunch of the guys went out. And you know, it's. I mean, if that's not your thing to go out and drink, then in the wrestling business, it's kind of tough. But when you get somebody like Frank Kazarian who's willing to stay back in the room with you and just listen to every honky-tonk interview possible just to pass some time, then you're pretty good.
Well, at least I touched your life in a way that was positive by you're not going out and having a few cocktails with the boys, because you could have ended up with Ric Flair's bar bill. But I'm really glad that you know, you guys have done so well, and I remember Frankie from way back when he was first breaking in and everything, and I ran across you a few times too, but it was one of those things where, you know, you weren't that big star you are now, so.
Oh, please.
But you made a big move from TNA over to Ring of Honor now, which I think is a positive move for you. I think you'll have fun over there.
Oh yeah, and it's a new experience too, as far as the wrestling business goes in general, Honky, because I'm sure you realize there's a couple guys out there, and I'm not included in them. I'm actually included in the group that does believe that, you know, wrestling is changing, and the times are changing, and it's time for change. And Ring of Honor is mostly reaching out to that UFC-style audience, because, I mean, it's 100% competition is what they try to base their product around. And, of course, we're still going to have wrestling fans because the words wrestling are in there, and we got wrestlers, and it is wrestling, but, you know, we're trying to base it more on directing it towards the UFC-style fans, the competition drivers.
Yeah, the fellas over there, you know, they're doing a great job, and Shelton Benjamin's over there, and Charlie Haas.
Yeah. Oh, speaking, not to cut you off, I'm sorry, Honky, you mentioned Shelton Benjamin. I was listening earlier before I called, and you had mentioned the Nigeria trip, and I believe Shelton was on that.
I think he was. Yes, he was. I didn't have the complete list of everyone, but what a mess. I mean,
oh, my goodness. They called and asked me to do it, and I didn't turn them down. I actually sent them to Bill Behrens, because he actually is handling all my bookings. But they talked to Bill Behrens, and then they tried to talk to me, and I kept trying to send them back to Bill Behrens, and it just never worked out. And Shelton he kept telling me, yeah, I'm going. I went on the last one. It was pretty good. You should give it a shot. Come on with us. We had fun. And it just still never panned out. So, boy, did I dodge a bullet on that one.
Yeah, I just, as you heard me talking, I've been invited to that thing a couple of times, and now that this has happened, I don't mind going to Canada or United Kingdom or Europe or somewhere, but I'm not going to go down to Africa, Nigeria, or something.
Right. It's a different world. It's a different world out there, Honky.
You know, look what happened to the WWE guys down in Cape Town or Johannesburg or somewhere. They get down there and all their bags, all the stuff's taken out of their bags.
Jeez, this is a crazy world.
And they don't have the security that we're used to at the airports and things like that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So it's totally a different world. It's one of those that I don't like to play around with. So you know, it's kind of like going off the top rope. I tell people anything. anything above that second rope is a death-defying act for me.
And Honky, one of the quotes that Frankie Kazarian and I share in many a locker room when we hear guys going over their matches, and it just sounds a little much, and like somebody may get hurt. We'll make sure we won't talk to him directly, but out loud we'll go, hey, remember that what Honky said about the ropes? And Frankie will go, yeah, I asked him how were the ropes, Honky, and Honky replies, I don't know, I don't touch them.
Well, that's true. That is absolutely true. That is the truth. Yeah, someone did ask me that, and Frankie was around, and he heard that, and I said it. I said, someone said, how are the ring ropes out there? I don't know. I don't touch them.
Oh, man.
But that's the part of the business that's the fun part. And
yeah.
Some of the other nonsense that goes on, and you've been involved in it. We're not big fans of TNA here on this show for several reasons. Of course,
right.
Hogan and Bischoff, and we don't call him Bischoff, we call him Bischoff. And
I noticed, and I had a question about that, if you don't mind, Honky.
Go right ahead.
Okay, I was wondering if you could just enlighten me just a little bit. You don't got to go into full detail about the problem with you and Eric Bischoff, because I did notice, when I was doing the whole Macho Man character in TNA, they didn't really give me a script for anything, because, Savage would just say a lot of times some pretty off-the-wall stuff, so I was always allowed to say whatever I wanted, and a lot of times in the middle of a promo or a pre-tape, I'd just shout out a random wrestler's name and ask, where is he? Like, where's Kamala? Or something like that, and I remember doing it one time. This is after Bischoff and Hogan got there. Bischoff was actually in the pre-tape, and the first take didn't go too well, so we had to redo it. But in that first take, I had yelled, where's the Honky Tonk Man? I'm the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. And when we had to do the second one, Bischoff told me, don't say that.
Well, I can promise you that, my friend Jimmy Hart, and you know Jimmy very well.
Oh yeah.
He now that he's away from that particular thing down there with the Bischoff, he was like, man, if Jimmy said something, Bischoff would just roll his eyes and then tell Hogan, no, let's don't do that.
Really?
So it was a real power, puts back and forth, and Hogan's kind of bound together with Bischoff because they're business partners in different kinds of endeavors and things of that nature. But
right.
And of course, Bischoff makes sure Hogan gets a big fat paycheck and never has to wrestle. So, how do you get a contract where you can go wrestle for other people like he did in Canada, and you come back and you don't even wrestle on the TV show that you're supposed to be? I don't understand that.
I don't know. I don't understand it.
I'd like to get that kind of contract too. Let me show up in a back brace and just not work for these guys. There's nothing wrong with having a back brace, but when he went to Canada, he didn't wear his NWO stuff or his Black Hollywood Hogan. He was back doing the old huckster, just trying to sell T-shirts and stuff and gimmicks.
A lot of gimmicks.
I love these shoot interviews, and I'm glad you guys sit and watch some of them, because in the early days there were so many guys that I could talk about. Now there's so many they're all gone and passed away or
right.
totally retired. So I've run out of material now for these kind of things, and TNA provides me with at least a little bit of stuff to talk about. And
I can't wait to hear any of most of that. As a matter of fact, Honky, and I feel like I keep cutting you off because I'm such a big Honky Tonk Man fan, and I just got so much to say. We tried to work out getting on your show a while back, but the timing just never worked, and I'm glad to finally be on the show. But enough of that, getting sidetracked. Back to what I was actually trying to say. One of your shoot interviews, I'm sure you remember it because it was one of the craziest ones. It was you, the Iron Sheik, and New Jack, all three together. I believe it was for Rob Fine.
The police came and there was
I'll tell you my most memorable part about that one, Honky, was somewhere before the police came in, before you guys got super rowdy. This was it just picked up, and I believe New Jack had mentioned the name Jeff Jarrett. And then that set Sheik off. Oh, yeah, that set Sheik off. It ended up everybody mooning the camera towards Jeff Jarrett. And I thought it was hilarious. Sanjay Dutt thought it was hilarious. And we did, Honky. We had to show Jeff Jarrett because we thought it was so funny. Interesting enough, Sanjay and I showed him, and I'm sure it had nothing to do with it, but neither one of us worked for the company anymore.
Well, that's okay. Yeah. Hey.
And you know, Jeff's reply to watching it, all he could say was, "Oh, Wayne Ferris."
Yep. Well, that's. At least he knows my real name, so. But gosh, that New Jack thing and with the Sheik, it got really out of hand. Yes, it did. I've passed on. I've gone beyond that now. I've grown in the business to not be pulling my pants down like that anymore.
Oh man!
I think there was a steamboat moment in there also too, and.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Some of it might have got on the cutting room floor. I think the part where Sheik couldn't get his pants pulled up. That made it. That made it because Eric Sims had to pick it up for him. Eric Sims had to. Unbelievable stuff. Stuff. I suggest everybody listening go buy that. Oh my goodness. Well, it's really something else. And
oh yeah.
Well, you're with Ring of Honor now, so they have you kind of contractually tied up where you can't go do those things, but sooner or later you'll be doing them. You'll be doing all these things, and they pay you a decent payday to do them, and all you do is knock guys. I mean, heck, if you listen to some of these radio shows, we have and I'm gonna get you to do him for us. We have this ongoing thing about Ric Flair because it seems like every time we think he's out of the picture. He's like Hillbilly Jim said it best one time about Chief Jay Strongbow. He said he's like a dandelion. He said you can chop him down, but if you give him a little sunshine and water, he'll pop right back up. And so, Steve, do you have that clip? Do you have the Flair thing? Can we play that for Jay so he can hear this?
Yeah, sure.
Just a little bit of it.
For the last 5 years, you've been calling me saggy ass, and I've had enough of it. Do you understand? I'm the Nature Boy Ric Flair. I'll give you respect, but you give me respect, you son of a bitch. Russo is working under the table for McMahon like he has been for the last decade to keep each and every other company down. You hear what I'm saying? It's a bombshell right now. Woo!
That guy was pretty good. He was pretty good. I mean, the funny part is, in my eyes, only because the two people that I looked up to growing up when I was a little kid was Randy Savage and Ric Flair. So, in my eyes, Rick can do no good. I mean, he can do no wrong, but then again, he can sometimes do no good either. I mean, no matter what, I will always love him because he gave me one of the greatest days of my life. But he's off the wall, unbelievable. I mean, some of the stories you wouldn't believe it unless you were there.
He's never really changed from way back in 35 years ago. That's what a lot of people don't understand. They think, gosh, this Ric Flair, he's going nuts. He's off the wall, and
right.